How's it going, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and with LTE on AT&T come a bunch of new devices that can take advantage of the technology. I've got two of those in my hand right now because it's LTE time on AT&T, and you know what we do in PhoneDog land? We do dogfight videos to see which one is the best. One of those is the Samsung Galaxy Note. Now this bad boy just came out on AT&T, and it's packing a 1.5 gigahertz dual-core Snapdragon processor, an 8-megapixel camera, a 5.3-inch display, so you can call it a tablet phone, a phablet, whatever you want to call it, but it's a big device on AT&T, and it's available now for $299.99 in two colors. Then you have the HTC Vivid, one of AT&T's launch 4G devices, and it's packing a 1.2 gigahertz dual-core processor, a big display, 8-megapixel camera, and more. Which one's the best one to get? Should you go with the conventional device or the tablet phone? We're going to find out in the dogfight, but first, some love to Best Buy Mobile for hooking us up with phones like this for use in our One Paw Bandit giveaway game on the site. When you walk into Best Buy Mobile to get either of these devices, you don't got to deal with rebates, messy paperwork, waiting 8 to 10 weeks for those stupid debit cards that everybody hates. You're going to walk out the door without dealing with any paperwork at Best Buy Mobile. Let's take a look. Let's jump right into the speed tests and some of the stuff like that on both of these devices to start out part 2 of the video. And let's go into speed test and test the network speeds because both of these devices are running 4G LTE on AT&T's network. So we'll go in here and load these up and kind of configure these so they're similar. Let me jump into Tools, change that. Let's do Chester for both of these devices. So Chester, South Carolina. And we'll load up and begin the test on both. Now what I will tell you, call quality relatively decent on both of these devices. I'll give the slight edge to the Galaxy Note. I think it's a little bit better in the signal strength department, at least based on my testing. They've both been pretty well or pretty decent in the earpiece department. Callers had no problems hearing me. I had no problems hearing them. I didn't get any of that like, you sound like you're in a wind tunnel. You know, those type of things that you always get from your mom whenever you use a Bluetooth headset. I don't know, maybe I'm just bitter because whenever I switch to a Bluetooth headset, I'm going to go off on a tangent for a minute, but whenever I switch to a headset, they're always like, you sound like you're in a tunnel, where are you at? And I'm like, I'm using a Bluetooth headset, testing it for work. Well, it sounds bad. Anyway, you get the idea. So, decent, you know, the speeds aren't necessarily LTE speeds. They're pretty poor, actually. 4.86 megabits per second, 4.11 megabits per second, more like HSPA+, although I will say it's 4 o'clock. We're kind of entering rush hour, and I am in the middle of the city in Charlotte. So, you know, that may be part of the issue, but upload speeds, 3.8 megabits per second, about 4.5 over here on the HTC Vivid, but not impressive by any means. I've seen speeds in the city, and this is probably because of network congestion, but I rarely see speeds above like 8 or 9 megabits per second. I will say when I take these to a little outlying area called Concord, North Carolina, just over the border of Mecklenburg County, I get crazy speeds, like 32 to 35 megabits per second. So it's got to be some sort of city network thing. It's my hope that AT&T works to expand their coverage, at least their LTE coverage and their speeds in the actual city, as opposed to, I mean, it's great that you can pick up 4G LTE where the cows are, but I really like to see it at some point in the office building, you know, get like these nice fast speeds. But obviously that's going to be worse and worse as the network gets saturated with users, which their LTE is still relatively new. I think it's available in 28 markets as of the shooting of this video. So let's load up Quadrant Standard on both of these devices and take a look, and you can see Quadrant Standard's been updated. If you haven't watched a video recently, they have updated it to support dual-core processors, so that's always a perk, and you're going to see it load up on both of these devices unless I get a force close. So we're going to start this back up and try it again. Come on, Android, let's do this. There we go. And we'll get that to load up and get it to work like that. So they're loading up right now. I will say, you know, graphics have been relatively decent on both of these devices. Where you're going to struggle is battery life on the HTC Vivid. I found it to be actually much better on the Galaxy Note. And you would think 2,500 milliamp hour battery over here, 1,620 milliamp hour battery over here. You'd think it would kind of be offset by the screen because this is a huge 5.3 inch display. This is 4.5 inch display. It is to an extent, but not really. Even with LTE connectivity, for the most part, with moderate to almost heavy use, I'm able to make it through a day with the Galaxy Note. We're talking like a couple hours on calls, some text messages, some emails, browsing the web, downloading apps, and more. I was never able to make the Vivid last a full day. I could get it at like 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, but it would always die when I pulled it off the charger. This one, unless I'm just using it for crazy heavy use, I can usually make it till about 11 or 12 before this device requires a recharge. They both charge about equally fast. This one is not like the old Samsung devices where it takes an age to a long time to charge. It is a little bit better in that department, though, because it is a big battery. It's not going to be as wild in comparison to, say, the Skyrocket, which does charge a little bit faster with its 1,850 milliamp hour battery. So that's something to keep in mind. So battery life's relatively decent. I don't know what's taking so long over here, but 2,823 over on the Galaxy Note. 2,823 over on the Galaxy Note. Still loading up on the Vivid, but still relatively impressive. Faster according to this than the Samsung Galaxy Tab, the Galaxy Nexus, and the Nexus S. So it is a relatively speedy device. Still, Snapdragon processor over here, so it's not running the Exynos processor that a lot of the Samsung devices are running. That's because LTE and Exynos don't get along. So whenever there's a device that has to be configured for LTE, be it AT&T or Verizon, they've got to switch it out to either a TI OMAP processor or a Snapdragon processor, anything but the Exynos processor, since it's not compatible. So it's still loading up over here. Let's get this running. Here we go. Finally loaded up. Benchmark result on the HTC Vivid. It's going to come in at, and let's wait for it to load, sending those results now, coming in at 1,662. And you can really see the difference here when you compare these between Super AMOLED HD and then the standard QHD display over here. Take a look at how vibrant these colors are, how black the black is back here, and how colorful the individual bars are. Really impressive on the Samsung Galaxy Note. Now while we're on the topic of kind of media and content, let's load up YouTube over here because I want to show you, like I said in part one, this is going to be a great device if you do a lot of web browsing, you do a lot of YouTube watching. It's really a media device, and it's all about media, whether you're using the S Memo functionality for the S Pen, or you're watching videos or what. So we're going to go in here to Phone Dog Video, Phone Dog, and we'll go to the Galaxy Note unboxing, for example, and load it up so you can see what it looks like on a 4.5-inch display. So you've got 4.5 inches over here, you've got 5.3 over here, and I'm going to pause that so I'm not talking to you twice, and you can take a look at some of my music in here, which this is just stuff I've collected over the years. So we'll do, let's say, how about Michael McDonald? That's a real good one. Let's do this. That's a real good one. So loaded up here, I won't play the music, but you can see the album art, you can see the ability to easily change the song. And I used to get my iTunes music over, there are a lot of options. Perhaps you're coming from iOS and you're like, I'm an iTunes person. There are a couple of different options for you. You can, of course, use Google Music, which comes pre-installed on these devices. You can download, actually on this one, but not on this one if I remember right. But you can download Google Music and use that. You can use what I use, Double Twist, and I use AirSync as a backup so I can wirelessly sync my music. So there are a lot of different options, so don't let that deter you. I still think, when it comes to an ecosystem, if you use a Mac and you use iTunes, iOS is going to be a great ecosystem for you just for the flawless transition of information when it comes to music or playlists or more. That said, there are some options on Android, so you don't have to worry about losing your music or not being able to get it over. It may require a few additional steps, but you can still get it over. So Michael McDonald over here, you got your 5.1 button up there. You got some shortcut buttons here. When I play it, I can actually, let's do this for example, and go back and you can see it shows up in the notifications bar. So when you're traveling, you can easily access your shortcuts, and of course I can scroll back and forth through the song. And I've got some different options as well. So overall, really easy to use and a nice functionality. Of course, you can set up playlists as well in Samsung's built-in media player here as well. Do folders, and then you have artists, albums, and of course you can access all pretty quickly and pretty easily. So nice to have. And of course you can do that on this device as well. Double Twist is what I use, but then I have the music coming into the music player on the actual Galaxy Notes music player application. So you can see, we'll load up YouTube so you take a look at the difference. We'll load up Phone Dog here. I can't see this. Let me pull this away here so we can, no, I don't want to turn that on. Go to Phone Dog. And we'll load up the same video so you can kind of get an idea of the screen difference. Again, going to be a really great device if you're watching YouTube. Still a big display over here, but it really doesn't come in. Guys, I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and we have the international version of the Samsung Galaxy. Talking to you 3 times. 3 Aarons. Oh, that's scary. Pause. There we go. Pause. And so you can see the difference on both of these devices. There's just a lot more area to watch media on the Galaxy Note. So if you're looking for a smaller device that's pocketable, that's a little bit more conventional, the Vivid I think will be the better device for you. If you're looking for something for great media content, you're okay with it being a little bit larger in the hand, kind of getting those looks when you hold it up to your ear, because it is a big device with a 5.3-inch display. The Galaxy Note will be a decent device for you as well. So let's take a look at one more thing. I'm going to show you the phone application on both of these devices. We'll load up phone, and HTC does it kind of interestingly with the fact that they combine your contacts and your missed calls. So let's dial 611, for example, call AT&T's customer service and say, "What up?" And then we'll hang up. And so you can see missed call or received call or dial call, whatever it is, pops up right there. Well, it pops up right in the midst of all of your contacts as well. That to me is a little bit confusing. I don't care for that personally, but you do have that functionality there. And of course, I can easily get rid of the number pad, and I have a shortcut to visual voicemail over there. A little bit different over here. You've got a standard look and feel, and I can dial 611 and then access 611, and that's what it looks like there. And again, sorry for pulling this away so many times. I just have my personal numbers on here. I don't think the PR people would like it very much if I gave their numbers on camera, but still, island keys here, easy to type on with a big display. And of course, I have logs, contacts, favorites, and group shortcuts up there as well. One other thing I want to highlight, let's go to contacts on the actual in HTC Sense 3.5. Let me do this. I can't talk and move stuff around at the same time. Let's go to people. Where is it? There, people. Okay. So we can go to Phone Dog Aaron, for example. Back. Phone Dog Aaron, for example, because I want to show you HTC's done a killer job with this. You've got your picture shortcut, the name, mobile messaging, and then of course some different stuff, group, the organization that person works for. But this is what I really like. Let's say I talk to Phone Dog Aaron on a regular basis. Let's say I talk to myself. I'm not going to pretend like I don't talk to myself. Everybody talks to themselves. But you can see here, messages, mail, updates and events, gallery, call history, and more. So I can easily pop over, see the last time I called myself. I can see the last time I messaged myself. I can see any emails that aren't Gmail as long as they're in the email application itself. I can do updates and events and more. So you've got a nice little personalized contact interface system here as opposed to a TouchWiz, which while it's still very fluid and very good, I like the ability to come over here and quickly be like, hey, John Doe, when was the last time I messaged him? When was the last time I had a phone call with him or missed his phone call or whatever it is, because maybe I don't want to talk to John Doe. So when did I miss his call last? I've got that shortcut over there and it's nice and easy to use. So very functional there, very fluid, but it's a tough call because they're both very different in terms of the form factor. They both have LTE, they both have some killer features, but it's going to depend on what's most important to you. And I say that in all the Dogfight videos, but really particularly in this one because it's a big device. Use it for 14 days, see what you think, take advantage of that return policy. But it's a big phone. This one's a little bit more conventional. That said, this thing has some killer features. Super AMOLED HD display, 8 megapixel camera, which is pretty awesome. Let's do a quick camera test here while we're loading that up to see, while I'm getting ready to tell you the winner of the Dogfight. We'll do a camera test. 8 megapixels on both of these devices. But again, larger display over here. And you can see, let's go ahead and bring up some pictures. Actually, let's do Galaxy Nexus back here so you can see, even zoomed in, I get a nice clear image with Verizon 4G LTE. Talking about Verizon in an AT&T video, that's like blasphemy. But you can see the texturized battery door. Then over here, a picture of a salad I had for lunch. We'll zoom that in and let it focus. So you can see Greek salad, decent picture quality as well, really vivid thanks to that Super AMOLED HD display. So you get some nice editing options on both of these devices. We're going to load that, or pull that back out, and you can see settings, and I can come over here and easily access settings as well, ISO, white balance, and more. So obviously one winner can be declared in the Dogfight. The winner is the Samsung Galaxy Note because when it comes to features, it offers the best all around. It's got a fast 1.5 gigahertz dual-core processor. It's got a big display, but not only is it big, it's a 5.3-inch Super AMOLED HD display, and it's HD at 1280 by 800 pixels. So, I mean, just incredibly impressive display. Check this thing out in store because it really is vivid, and you really see the color differences, particularly when you're comparing the same picture side by side. You can really see the vividness of the color. So there's the 8 megapixel camera, there's a big 2500 milliamp hour battery that's very impressive as well, and it's available for a little bit more money. It's $299, but you still get some awesome functionality like the S-Memo application, which I'll pull away and show you as well. You can see cool pictures like this, which I drew, and I can come in here and change that around as much as I want to. I can use the built-in S Pen to take notes. And so it's got a lot of functionality considering that it's a tablet/phone hybrid. Then you have the Vivid over here, still a very impressive device, still LTE abilities, 1.2 gigahertz dual-core processor, an 8 megapixel camera as well. More of a conventional device, but I think for a lot of people that are watching this video, they're going to be like, I love YouTube, I love internet browsing. It's going to be a little bit better on the Galaxy Note. Much more coverage to come on PhoneDog.com with both of these devices, so keep it locked on the site. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/PhoneDog. We're awesome. We're super cool. So check that out, and be sure to follow me on Twitter as well. PhoneDog_Aaron. Let me know what you think, and I'm going to draw it out. PhoneDog_Aaron for cool drawings like this, and also some phone stuff thrown in there too. And on Facebook at Facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, we'll see you next time. Keep it locked on the site for more coverage of these awesome devices.